You're welcome.
Thank you.
Have a seat. Okay, so Fatima, how are you doing?
I'm feeling good. I'm doing well.
I love that. She's feeling good. When you're in Cameroon feeling, you should feel really good. But you're here to tell us about something that's really important to women, but not just reserved to women, the information or knowledge about it. And it's menstrual hygiene. First off, you have a month-long campaign on menstrual hygiene because the World Menstrual Hygiene Day is coming on the 28th of May. You have been really present online to make people know about certain things concerning menstruation. So let's start for those who need to understand why you're making such a fuss, I would say, about menstrual hygiene.
Firstly, it's something that, as you said at the beginning of the show, most people shy away from talking about. And it's important because if you don't talk about it, you don't get proper education on it. There are many girls who think they are doing it right in managing their periods or managing their whole menstrual cycle, but they are not. And there are people who could be helping out, for example, maybe in the primary schools or the secondary schools, there are mates who could be helping you out when you're in a difficulty, but they can't because they don't have that education. And also, more importantly, there are girls and women who don't have access to proper products to properly manage their menstrual cycles, to properly manage their periods. Talking about conflict areas, talking even about in our regular city dwellings, there are people who can't afford to buy a pad or a packet of pads every month.
Yeah, now let's talk woman to woman. Relax, Fatima. Yes. There are so many people who do not know how to address it from the beginning with their children because that's where it starts from. When a young girl first sees blood, how a parent is supposed to address that to the girl is something I think lines up with education.
That's very true. And I think that it shouldn't be from when she starts seeing blood. It should be before, so she should be prepared. And you prepare her before. It's part of sex education in general, I can say. You can't tell her that blood will come out from your vagina without calling the word, without telling her this is how it is named, this is how it is called, this is what is going to happen. And then when she starts with her first period, you do not just give her a pad or a doll or whatever and tell her, okay, go take care of yourself, put it on, something like that. You have to teach her, okay, this is how you take care of it, this is how you maintain yourself hygienically, you need to change it this often, you need to take a bath this often,
Sure.
and so on. You need to count this often to follow a trend, to know when it will come next.
So it doesn't surprise you.
So it doesn't surprise you.
Now, one of the things you talk about is how to correctly use different sanitary products. We don't talk about that enough. And I'm sure some people are getting uncomfortable already listening to that, but you need to tell us what are the mistakes women are making and how to correct that.
I think the first thing about the first error people make is the duration that you should wear it. Sometimes we say that during your period you don't feel comfortable because maybe there's an odor or something. It's because you wear it for too long. You should change it as often as you can. The maximum should be 6 hours, but from 3 to, in fact, as you feel comfortable, you know when you're uncomfortable and you should change it.
Yeah.
So that is one of the first errors. And then the second, with things like pads, they don't properly fit the wings. They don't properly place it. It has a particular position. Sometimes you reverse what has to go in front and you send it behind, and things like that. So it causes leakage.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, I don't feel comfortable using this because it doesn't work.
What about doubling? Is it something that you encourage or you discourage?
There are different types of pads for different flow. If you have heavy flow, you should go for something a little heavier and probably a little longer. And if you're not comfortable with pads, there are other options like tampons. It's not very common in our setting, but abroad people are more comfortable using it. So you shouldn't double. You should change the type of pad that you use. You'll find something for your flow.
Okay, this is for people who can afford to change that. What about people who can't even have pads or even tampons?
And that is what we're talking about. Sometimes you do not need to use the regular things. Maybe if you can't afford a pad or tampons, a piece of cloth will do, kept properly. For example, a piece of cotton, well kept and used, maybe not for a longer period, but you can use it multiple times as long as you wash it properly after every use and you sun it properly. And there are lots of organizations right now who are into making reusable pads. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's another option you can have. Now, another thing that's related to menstruation has to be the counting of the cycle. Let's clear that out before we move on to your project. How is it done?
First tip, day one of your cycle is the day you start bleeding. It's not the last day of your period. I will give a general example. Once you start counting from the first day of your bleeding, generally cycles are different. You cannot have the same number. People use examples of 28 days often, but for most of us out there, 28 days is not a normal cycle for us. So there are people who can have less, say 21, and there are people who can have more, up to 35 or more. Even though once is more, then there's a problem. But the 28-day myth is not regular. Instead, I think it's rarer to see a lady with a regular 28-day period than it is otherwise.
So why is it important to count the cycle?
As you said, to predict, but the menstrual cycle can be predictably unpredictable because you can't always tell. But the easiest thing to do is keep a trend for a couple of months. Say, okay, this is the first day of my cycle. When do I next see it? After about 3 months, you know that you have an interval which you regularly use. The next thing will be trying to find out the spot where you ovulate. And this might be also a little tricky, but once you keep being consistent in monitoring,
you can be able to identify when
you ovulate, because there will be changes in your temperature. You get a little more peevish, a little more anxious, and then
that's true. Oh yeah, that's really true. Okay.
And so that's it.
Well, we're just making use of the fact that Fatima is here and she may be able to clear some of your doubts out there. But you have an ongoing campaign. I see you itching to tell us all about it. Tell us about it.
So we came up with the concept of No Period Drama campaign. The idea behind the name No Period Drama, we have a way of writing. We say periods don't equal drama. So it's because many women hear their periods, they are terrified of it. When it's coming, they're like, that time of the month again.
Ooh, yeah.
But it isn't something to fear. It's something to learn about and manage it better. And it's the same. Some men have the notion that women are crazy when they're on their periods.
Oh, wow. Premenstrual crisis and all of that.
All of that. So.
But now you're going to schools and communities, giving educative talks. How long has it been going on, and when does it end?
It started on the 1st of May, actually, with our online campaign. Using the hashtags of the month, that is MHD 2019, Menstrual Hygiene Day, which is on the 28th. And then we developed a hashtag of our own, My Period Drama, where girls share stories about their periods, which could be embarrassing at the time, but now it's funny and you can teach someone else.
Yeah.
And we've gone to a couple of schools, I think in Boya and here in Yaoundé. And then in Bamenda too, we've gone to a couple of communities. We've gone to youth groups in churches, about 2 churches. And we're planning for more before the month runs out.
So when is the next stop?
Tomorrow, we're going to PNEU Etukebe here in Yaoundé to give a talk to the class 5 and class 6 children.
And it's not just a talk of, this is the path, this is how you put it. It's performing arts, competition, creative skills. They're going to make it fun so you can learn, and it sticks when it's fun. It sticks more. So thank you so much for passing by, Fatima.
Okay. There is one last thing I should say before stepping out. We have a couple of workshops to round up the month. The first will be on the 25th at FHS Boya. The second will be on the 28th itself in Bamenda Lavenia Center, I think from 10 a.m. And the last will be here in Yaoundé at Next Gen Center from the 28th at 3 p.m. We'll have a gynecologist coming to teach us more about menstrual hygiene, and then we'll do a couple of things.
If you want some more information, the Facebook page again?
BodyTalk International, just at BodyTalk International.
So simple. BodyTalk. Well, thank you for passing by.
My pleasure.
Just be comfortable, because I'm sure you'll be interested in what our next guest has to say. He's from the Advanced School of Mass Communication. Bo Bryan, good morning.
Hello, Patience. Good